I'd like to report a crime that hasn't happened yet. Have you seen the movie Back to the Future? Basically, I'm living that movie right now, which is how I know there's gonna be a murder tonight.
Hate time travel movies. They never make any sense.
So the new slasher movie, Totally Killer, is available on this platform that I don't remember as of the filming of this video. It's a comedy horror. Kiernan Shipka, all I could think of when I see her is Sally Draper from Mad Men, but she is actually a very, very talented actress, and I think that her career is only just beginning. But let's get into the movie. So essentially, her mother is a survivor of a slasher from 1987 known as the Sweet 16 Killer. And he's been dormant for all these years, but she still has this like sort of, you know, kind of overbearing vibe with her daughter. And naturally her daughter's kind of like, okay, mom, your friends died like, 35 years ago. It's time you got over it, yada, yada, yada. Turns out that the Sweet 16 Killer appears to still be at large and has made a reappearance this Halloween. He chases our protagonist into a theme park, and in the process of trying to kill her, his knife hits like this circuit deck on a photo machine, which is actually a time machine, zapping them back to the year 1987 when the murders first happened. A very interesting twist on very familiar territory, and overall, I actually really did enjoy this film. In fact, the one thing that I didn't like about it, the one glaring issue I'd like to just get out of the way, frankly, because, again, the general experience of this movie was a positive one. They did not really lean into the whole 80s angle of this film. You got a serial killer, which has a Max Headroom mask. That's a brilliant idea. And you have this really cool setup, and you have all the kind of tropes of a slasher movie, like the whodunit vibe, like which one of them is it, what's going to be the big reveal at the end, and even, the kills themselves are fun. But they didn't lean into the 80s styles. I mean, the 80s is a very aggressive time in terms of fashion, with like the mohawks and like the frickin' punks and the dyed hair, the frickin' jean jackets with the sleeves cut off. Even going away from the punk scene, I mean, you got your short shorts. There are so many things that scream 80s. Also so many different possibilities for music that could have been used that just weren't. I mean, the overall look of this film, if it wasn't basically announced in the beginning that it takes place in 1987, I wouldn't have been able to tell. I would have figured 90s, maybe even early 2000s. And I was like, it's kind of a missed opportunity, and especially given the fact that they got those slasher tropes so right. I wish they'd done more with that. But moving on, that is one issue in an otherwise pretty creative movie. There were references to Back to the Future, which is cool because she meets her mom back in 1987 and
Fuck off and die. Jesus, Mom. Mamacita. Ay. Ay, ay, ay. Mamacita.
True to the form of Back to the Future, her mom's not exactly what she expected. The dippy friends, and even like the dad being kind of a stupid jock. They're all in a cabin, they're at a party. It's the exact three people that get killed. Again, some of the weirdos from high school. You've got some red herrings in there. But there is a really cool twist at the ending that I will not divulge, but it does involve time travel. And the concept of time travel in this movie is cool. If the past is changed, the future adjusts accordingly. Like one can be left with a dream or like a parallel memory of something that happened should something be changed. It does also bounce back and forth between what's happening in 1987 with our main character, her mom, and her mom's group of friends, and her best friend in our time working with other people to try and figure out what's going on. Conceptually, it's a really, really cool movie. It has everything that you would love from an 80s slasher movie, but again, it's got like a twist that makes it kind of fresh. It's a good horror comedy. Like I said, just one thing, I wish they'd leaned a little bit more into the 80s, but, other than that, it was pretty damn good. And that's all she wrote.